welcome back to another one. In today's video, I'm probably going to go over all of my hints and tips on breeding Peckoltia, particularly the 205s and the 134s. They're the ones that I've had pretty good success with in the past. And I'll just go in depth a little bit about how I find their eggs are different. When you're pulling their eggs, I find they're a lot different than high pan eggs. I think they're a lot hardier than the high pan cistrus eggs. High pan cistrus eggs seem to fungus really quickly, whereas with the Peckoltia eggs, not only are they slightly bigger, but they're in my experience they've always been a lot more resilient to mold. But yeah, we'll go over all of that in the video, and I'll probably go through and show you some of the new scapes I've done in a few of the Pleco tanks this week. I've done a couple in some of the grow out tanks. I rescaped the L136B tank a little bit, but someone is on eggs, so I couldn't do too much. And gave the 136B tank the scape it's needed since I've had them in there, to be honest with you, and switch around the L136B albinos slightly. But let's get into the video and I'll show you some 134s. I'm not going to shine lights into their caves and stuff like that because they're both actually still on the eggs. I haven't pulled them yet, like I said I was going to in the last video, just because I haven't eaten them, and I'm pretty confident they're going to take them to wigglers and then I'll pull them. Right, let's get into it. So I was just about to start going over some bits about the leopard frog plecos, and I just peered into the L236 basic tank. As you can see there in the centre of the frame, you can see some live blackworm. I'll magnify that just to the left, below and to the left of the wiggler that's just been kicked out of the cave. I guess he's just knocked off the yolk sacs. Can't see them anywhere like the actual egg sacs, but we'll grab this little guy out because he seems alright, he or she. Quickly whip him out and put him into a tub. And here we've got the L134 group. This is the two groups that I merged together around 4 weeks ago now. They pretty much all stay in the caves. I'll probably just flick the flashlight on so you can get a little bit of a better look at them. So here on the right hand side is the male that's on eggs there. You can see him further in the back of his cave. I don't want to harass him too much just because he's kept hold of his eggs and he hasn't eaten them yet. And you'll find with most Peckoltia species, actually, to be fair, because my worm lines are exactly the same, and the females will cave up as well. And I find the only times that they will be on the side of caves is when they're looking to mate with the male that's inside a cave. Because as you can see here, that's a female on your left, and she normally pairs up with this male on the right. I'm not going to show the cave right at the end just because that is the male that eats the eggs. I'll just go to this next one. And yeah, for these, really, I have my TDS at no higher than 80 generally. I do the same with these, a 20 to 30% water change every 2 to 3 days. And yeah, generally these guys are seasonal spawners as well. They won't just go all year, unless of course they are tank bred. And then I have heard that people that have L134 that breed all year round, but unfortunately mine don't. They're very seasonal. I find generally with most Peckoltia species, they all do well on a single story layout of the tank. Sorry about the glare. This is the layout of my tank. I have actually got another piece of bulkwood. I meant to put it in there probably about 2 weeks ago now, but just haven't got around to it, to that goes straight across the top of all of this. Never found any of my Peckoltias to use the top caves. That might not be the same for you. Yours may use all of the top caves, but mine generally really don't. They seem to like these natural mud style caves, and the smaller the cave that's sort of like almost the same size width as one L134. The male could barely get inside that cave when the female was in there. The temperature of this tank is like a consistent 28.5 degrees, dropping 2 to 4 degrees on water changes depending what the temperature is or what I'm aiming for. And I find that all Peckoltia are really, really reliant on pressure change to trigger them to spawn. I was actually talking to someone online about this today, and it was probably maybe the third person out of 100 people I've come across that think that has some logic to it. Most people just laugh it off, but I really find it helps with mine. I've never used rainwater or anything like this to do water changes with these, just because there can be some real nasty bits in rainwater that runs off the roof from the bird poo, and I never really wanted to risk it. But I'll take you guys over and show you a few of their fry. Most of these fry in there are theirs. I did buy a group of some sort of juveniles off of someone that was selling some that I'm going to grow them out. They are the slightly bigger ones that are in the grow out tank at the moment. Yeah, let's go and check them out. So they were loving that at the beginning of the water change there. It should. I reckon there's going to be a trap tonight. I reckon it's going to be two. There's the male there in the centre. That's our eggs between these two in the centre shot. Oh, it's nearly full. Let's get that turned off. But yeah, let's go ahead over and take a look at the young. So here we are, just over at the leopard frog grow out tank. When I say leopard frog, there's a L002 in there, L333, a couple of baby wood cats that are left in here from a while ago. There's one of the L002s there. I think they're pretty underrated fish. I quite like them. With the L134 young, I find it's quite important to give them a lot of space to grow out in, rather than trying to keep them in like a smaller tank. The Hypan cistrus and actually just the Hypan cistrus, the Panicolas are terrible as well when they're young. They're just constantly going at each other. Most of the smaller L134s are all underneath the wood. What else is there really that I can say on these guys with breeding? Targets days or nights when there's storms. Feed them small amounts twice a day. That applies to your breeding group and your young. Never ever let the young go hungry, which applies to baby fish really. Thinking about whether I turn over some of these bits of wood or not, and really, I find the L134 shoot up to sort of the 3 centimetre mark, and then they are a little bit slower to get to like 5, and then they have another rapid growth up to about 7. So these guys are probably, they've just chunked up at 5 centimetres, and they're probably just about to have another growth spurt to 7, probably by summer. I would say they'll be at 7 centimetres by the end of summer, rather. These bigger ones that you're seeing here are the ones that I'm going to keep and grow out and select out the best ones and sell on the rest. Probably keep until they're flexible, I would say. So probably another 6 or 7 months. I feed my L134s like a pretty wide range of food, really. I feed them some super soft mussel pellets. I also feed them veggie sticks. These are all Ebo foods. They're also partial to some super soft Artemia. Really, I find that they don't really get bloat too quickly either. I find they're pretty good at digesting their food and passing it through, whereas I find Ancistrus, in my experience, are ones that tend to get bloat a lot easier and stuff like that. But I never feed any of my tanks zucchini or any like raw vegetables, really, to be honest. I occasionally give them carrots, but zucchini for me just absolutely destroys the water quality in the tank. No matter what filtration you've got, most of my tanks have got sponges and externals with floss and everything like that. It's not that, it just destroys the. I'm sure there must be something in it that gets into the water column because it starts to smell as well. When you feed too much zucchini, and it sort of leaks when it goes to a slime. That's the zucchini or the whatever fruit it is in the water. That's that like going rotten almost, and it's in the water. It's been in like 25 to 29-degree water for 12 or 24 hours, however long people keep it in the tanks for. And that just can't be good for, anything pathogens, parasites, everything to just be feeding on continuously in the water column. And yeah, I stick to Evo foods really with my fish and Dr. Basileir, regular, and garlic. I do actually like to use pumpkin, but I haven't got any of that left. I need to do a little order to get some more of that. Take you down here and show you the L136B setup that I just changed this morning. The glass is a little bit dirty, but that's the new setup here for the L136Bs. Thought I'd just add a little bit more to the tank rather than just the caves. That's a very sort of basic Pleco breeding setup, I would say. 2 completely different territories for the fish. Some hidden caves. This guy here was trapping, and I'm pretty sure he was on eggs last night, but I didn't really want to fiddle around with it too much, shine lights in there. I will check it though in a day or two. So yeah, I think I covered most bits about what actually helps me with breeding my Peckoltia species, my L134s, and it's exactly the same for what helped me breed my L205s, wormline Plecos. If there was anything I've missed in the video, leave me a comment and I will reply to all comments that are left in videos. And just another couple of things I was going to say about them, I didn't say. If all of your L134 are looking plump, gravid, however you want to call it, looking ready to spawn, don't continue feeding the tank the same every single day, because it most likely will kill gravid females if you do that. You want to be fasting the tank for anywhere from 36 to 48 hours. If no trap happens in that time, you're probably safe to continue feeding the tank. I'm pretty sure I didn't mention that in the video, and that is one of my main tips, actually, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, don't just continue feeding them, they will bloat. And I think it encourages the fish to actually absorb the eggs that are inside them. That's my theory on it anyway, but yeah, that's fasting is definitely a good tip. That applies to Hypancistrus, Peckoltia, Panacolus, and I guess the Ancistrus species as well. Definitely applies to the Bioancistrus as well. So I used to have gold nuggets, not that I bred them, but that was a main thing of theirs. They were constantly getting bloat, and then it was going down, getting bloat, going down. They definitely were fast in the Bioans. But yeah, I think I'll probably round the video off here, and thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed it, give us a like. And if you really liked it, as I always say, subscribe. Thanks for all the new subscribers and everyone that's been commenting and liking the video, whether it's been constructive criticism or just positive comments. I'm grateful for all of them, and I do look to improve on everything that is commented in the videos, as I want to make this an enjoyable experience for people to watch, as well as for me to record and be sharing things with you guys. This was the last video you'll see this microphone. The other mic is actually here, but I started recording on this microphone this morning, and the other mic arrived this afternoon. So the next one will be on the Holyland, and we'll see how that mic is. Thanks for watching.